Alright, so this is a story. I know this is my second video, but I want to talk to you guys a little bit about myself. Let you guys get to know me a little bit. I was raised primarily in Miami, Florida. I've been through so much in my life. I've lived in the projects. I've lived in a house my father owned. I've lived in an apartment that we rented. And I've lived in $1 million home. So to say that I've lived life and had a bunch of life come at me is a damn understatement. But I did. So the story of how I met my wife is a very interesting one. First of all, I was in a relationship with another girl, and it was long distance. We was barely seeing each other, and I didn't think it was gonna work. But I didn't break up with her. I was still talking to her when I met my wife, which I know was wrong. So I was at home hanging out, and a friend of mine came over to the house, and he was messing with this young girl. Now, he was like 22, and the girl he was messing with was like 14 years old. That's a whole different video for another time. And he said, she got a homegirl, want me to hook you up. And most dudes be like, nah, hell nah. And I was like, nah, man, I'm straight. And he was on the phone at my house, because he always used to come over my house. We'd chill, we go shoot some hoops and whatnot. So he was over my house that day, and he was on the phone talking, and he happened to say, my homeboy Zay's right here. Let me let you talk to him. And he gave me the phone. And I'm looking at him like, what the fuck? He's like, man, just talk to her. So I get on the phone, and I started talking to what I didn't know at that point would be my wife. So they stayed in Homestead, and it's long distance from Miami. It's like an hour drive away from Miami. They were catching public transportation, so that made it even longer. So they were supposed to come out and see us one day, and instead of coming out to see us, my wife got cold feet. And the reason why I found out the reason why she had cold feet is because she had some bad experiences with the opposite sex, as a lot of girls do. And she didn't want to go down that road again, so she didn't come the first time. And I ended up not seeing her. And then, we kept talking on the phone. And eventually, one day, they came down. This was actually on Memorial Day, 18 years ago. And that's the reason why I celebrate my anniversary on Memorial Day. Her cousin was having a cookout. And so she came down. I picked them up from the Metro Rail station, and we went over her cousin's house. Now, granted, my friend and the girl he was with, they had been seeing each other for a while. But my wife and me, we hadn't. This is the first time we ever met. Now, we talked over the phone previously, but it was the first time we ever met. But everybody else at this get together at her cousin's house, they was all relationships and hooked up. So when we showed up, my wife started telling everybody that I was her boyfriend, even though we hadn't talked or whatever. But it was just a situation where she didn't want to be like the odd person out. So from there, we just, started getting more and more acquainted. And things just took off and went really fast from there. And that's the story on how I met my wife. Stay tuned for part 2.